My name is Nathan, and I faced the biggest shock of my life at the company where I had worked for 6 years. My manager called me into his office and accused me of embezzling $75,000. He claimed to have evidence, and financial auditors had been called. I was fired that day. My credit cards were blocked, and my wife filed for divorce. My life completely changed on Friday, October 6, 2023, at exactly 9:47 a.m. Until that day, I was just an ordinary guy named Nathan Cooper, 32 years old, living in the northern suburbs of Chicago, working as a financial advisor at Meridian Financial Solutions. I would drink my coffee at the same time every morning, follow the same route to work, return home in the evenings, help my son Tyler with his homework, and watch television with my wife Sarah. I had been working at the same company, at the same desk, with the same routine for 6 years. My wife Sarah was 29 years old and taught at a local elementary school. Our 8-year-old son Tyler was in 3rd grade and loved playing soccer. Our house in Highland Park was small but a warm home. On weekends, we would watch Tyler's games, go for walks with Sarah, and sometimes have barbecues with our neighbors. Life was ordinary, predictable, and sometimes even a bit boring. But we were happy. Meridian Financial Solutions was a medium-sized financial consulting company located in a 23-story skyscraper in downtown Chicago. It had 150 employees, and my department was on the 12th floor. We provided financial consulting services to small and medium-sized companies. I specialized particularly in tax planning and budget analysis. That Friday morning, I had my coffee as usual and came to the office. It usually took me 45 minutes to get downtown with my red Hyundai Elantra. Traffic was a bit heavier that morning, so I was 20 minutes late. While riding the elevator to the 12th floor, I felt more tense than usual, though I didn't know why. When I entered my department, the first thing I noticed was the way my colleagues looked at me, as if they knew something that I didn't. Secretary Jennifer Martinez greeted me, but there was a strange expression on her face that I had never seen before. Jennifer was usually very cheerful and talkative, but that morning she seemed somehow sad. "Good morning, Jennifer. Is everything okay?" I asked. "Good morning, Nathan," Jennifer said, avoiding catching my eyes. "Mr. Harrison wants to see you in his office. Right away." Robert Harrison was our financial affairs manager. He was 47 years old, had graying hair, always wore suits, and was quite stern and rule-oriented. He had been working at the company for 15 years and had been managing our department for the last 8 years. My relationship with Harrison was professional. We were neither friends nor enemies. As long as I did my job well, he had no problems with me. "Is it urgent?" I asked Jennifer. "I don't know, Nathan. But he has 2 visitors. Men I don't recognize." My heart started racing slightly. Unfamiliar visitors usually didn't bring good news. I sat at my desk and opened my computer, checked my emails. Everything was normal. I took a deep breath and walked toward Harrison's office. When I knocked on Harrison's door, I heard a stern voice say, "Come in." When I opened the door, I saw Harrison sitting behind his desk, and 2 other people sitting across from him. I had never seen these people before. Both were middle-aged men in dark suits with serious facial expressions. On the desk were thick files, documents, and a laptop. "Nathan, sit down," Harrison said in a cold voice, pointing to the chair on the left. I sat down. The silence in the room was ear-piercing. The 2 strangers were scrutinizing me. "Nathan," Harrison said, "these gentlemen are federal financial auditors, Agent David Morrison and Agent Kevin Walsh. There's an important ongoing investigation at our company." Morrison and Walsh. Their names echoed in my head. What business could federal auditors have with me? What kind of investigation?" I asked, stammering. Agent Morrison opened the file in front of him. "Mr. Cooper, we want to talk to you about embezzlement charges." It was as if the air in the room suddenly thickened. I was having trouble breathing. "Embezzlement? What does this mean?" "I haven't done anything." Agent Walsh spoke. "A $75,000 embezzlement case, Mr. Cooper. And all the evidence points to you." It was like lightning struck my head. As if reality had become a dream, and dreams had become reality. "This is impossible. I haven't stolen anything. This must be a mistake." Harrison pushed the thick file on his desk toward me. Nathan, you've been systematically transferring money from company accounts for the last 8 months. Here are the bank records. Here are the transfer documents approved with your electronic signatures. There are even complete records of transfers made from your personal computer. My hands started trembling uncontrollably. I opened the file. My name was really written on the pages. My electronic signature, dates, times, amounts of money. Everything was very detailed and professional. But I hadn't done any of these. This must be a mistake, I said, my voice trembling. I never made these transfers. Someone must have used my identity, my passwords. Harrison stood up and looked out the window. Nathan, here's the funny part. Security camera footage shows you were regularly in the office during night hours, even on weekends, for the last 8 months. Exactly during the hours these suspicious transfers were made. I was confused. True, I had been working a lot of overtime in recent months. I was working on a big project, preparing a 3-year financial plan for Morrison Manufacturing Company. This was a very important client, and Harrison was constantly putting pressure on me. I was coming to work late at night and even on weekends. But embezzlement? Never. Harrison, you know about the Morrison project. I was working overtime for that project. Remember, you constantly said, "Finish this project, Nathan. It's very important." Agent Morrison spoke. "Mr. Cooper, you can deny the charges, but the evidence we have is very clear and strong. The only reason we're not arresting you right now is that Meridian Financial Solutions hasn't filed an official complaint yet." Official complaint? Harrison sat down again. "Nathan, here's the situation. If you don't return the $75,000 you stole, we'll turn this file over to the Cook County Prosecutor's Office and the FBI. Financial crimes are serious federal offenses. You could get 10 to 15 years in prison." The world was spinning around my head. I couldn't tell if this was real or a nightmare. "Robert, I've been working here for 6 years. You know me. I'm an honest person. I couldn't do such a thing." "The evidence says otherwise, Nathan." "I'm sorry." Agent Walsh handed me his card. "Mr. Cooper, we advise you to hire a lawyer. These are very serious charges." Harrison stood up. "Nathan, I'm firing you right now. Security will come and help you pack your personal belongings. You're now banned from entering the company building. And I'm telling you for the last time, return the money, or we'll start legal proceedings." It felt like a dream. My legs were shaking. My hands were shaking. "Robert, this is crazy. I'm innocent." "Nathan, the discussion is over. Security is waiting for you." The door opened and the familiar security guard Marcus entered. I had known Marcus for 6 years. We greeted each other every morning and evening. Now he was looking at me with pained eyes. "Sorry, Nathan," Marcus said quietly. "We need to pack your things." When I returned to my office, everyone in the department was looking at me. Conversations had stopped. Jennifer was tearing up. My desk mate Steve approached. "Nathan, what's happening? Is what we're hearing true?" "Steve, I haven't done anything. This is a big mistake." But there was doubt in Steve's eyes. Even my 6-year colleague didn't believe me. I put my personal belongings in a cardboard box. Family photos, my coffee mug, my desk calendar, a few books. 6 years of memories fit into one box. Marcus waited quietly and escorted me to the elevator. "Marcus, do you believe me?" I asked in the elevator. Marcus hesitated. "Nathan, I know you as a good man. But in these matters, you never know." When I left the company building, the October sun was blinding me. People around me were living their normal lives, while I was experiencing the worst moment of my life. I sat in my car for 20 minutes. I didn't know what to tell Sarah when I called her. Finally, I picked up the phone. "Sarah, it's Nathan." "Nathan? Why are you calling at this hour? Aren't you at work?" "Sarah, I'm coming home. I urgently need to talk to you." "What happened? Your voice sounds very strange." "We'll talk when I get home." It took an hour to get to our house in Highland Park. This was the longest hour of my life. Music was playing on the radio, but I couldn't hear anything. I was looking at cars on the highway, thinking they're living their normal lives, My life is ruined. When I stopped in the private parking area in front of our house, Sarah was looking at me from the kitchen window. There was curiosity and worry on her face. When I went inside, Sarah was waiting standing. "Nathan, what happened? How did you come home so early?" "Sarah, please sit down. I need to talk to you very seriously." We went to the living room. Sarah sat in the armchair. I sat across from her. I put my hands on my knees, but they were trembling. "Sarah, a very serious problem arose at the company." "What kind of problem?" They're accusing me of embezzling money." Sarah's expression changed. First surprise, then horror, then disbelief. "What do you mean embezzling money? Nathan, what are you talking about?" I told her everything. Harrison's office, federal agents, $75,000, evidence, being fired. Everything. Sarah listened quietly. "Nathan," Sarah said, her voice trembling, "tell me the truth. Did you take this money?" Hearing this question from Sarah's mouth was like a knife stabbing my heart. "Sarah, I'm your husband. We've been together for 10 years, married for 8 years. How can you accuse me like this?" "Of course I didn't." "Nathan, quiet. Don't shout. Tyler is sleeping." "Sarah, I'm innocent. This is a big conspiracy, a trap." But there was doubt in Sarah's eyes. She knew me, but those pieces of evidence seemed very strong. "Nathan, then how will you explain this evidence? Electronic signatures, security cameras." "I don't know. Someone stole my identity, got hold of my passwords." "Sarah, believe me. That night was horrible. Sarah and I slept in separate beds. I couldn't sleep at all. I stared at the ceiling until morning. How did this happen to me? Who did this? Why?" I kept thinking. When Tyler woke up Saturday morning, we had to explain everything. We told our 8-year-old son, "Tyler, Daddy lost his job, but he'll find a new job." We didn't want Tyler to ask too many questions. Monday morning I called a lawyer. William Chen was a criminal lawyer recommended by my old university friend Marcus. Chen was 42 years old, Taiwanese American, with 15 years of experience, specializing in financial crimes. Chen's office was on Michigan Avenue, in a modern building, a small but organized office. I went to the appointment Monday afternoon. "Mr. Cooper, you briefly explained your situation on the phone. Now tell me everything in detail." I told Chen everything. He was taking notes seriously. "Nathan, may I call you Nathan? These are very serious charges. Federal-level financial charges. If the evidence is really against you and you're found guilty in court, you could get 5 to 10 years in federal prison." "But I'm innocent." "Nathan, in courts, innocence isn't enough. You need to prove your innocence. Now we need to examine this evidence." Chen requested the evidence. I gave him the files I had received from Harrison. Within a week, my life completely spiraled out of control. Chase Bank blocked my credit cards. They said, "Your accounts are frozen due to financial investigation." My mortgage application was rejected. Sarah's family called from Detroit. They were very angry. "Nathan, you ruined our daughter's life." Sarah's father shouted on the phone. Tyler said questions were starting to come from his friends at school. "Dad," Jimmy asked me, "is your dad a thief?" What should I answer? The worst happened a week later. Sarah was waiting for me in the kitchen. Her eyes were red. "Nathan, I hired a lawyer." "A lawyer? Why?" "A divorce lawyer. I'm filing for divorce for Tyler's and my safety." It felt like I had been punched in the chest. "Sarah, this is crazy. I'm innocent. These are temporary things." "Nathan, I can't trust you anymore. I have to think about Tyler's future. If you're really guilty, I don't want Tyler to be affected by this." "Sarah, doesn't our 10-year marriage mean anything?" "Nathan, I love you, but I can't trust you right now." Chin gave me the bad news. "Nathan, the evidence is very strong. Your electronic signatures could be very professionally forged, but proving this is difficult. Security cameras show you there. Banking records are consistent. They planned this very well." So who could have done it? Definitely someone from inside the company. Someone who had access to your passwords, system access, and knew your working hours and habits. 2 weeks later, Harrison called. There was triumph in the tone of his voice. Nathan, this is your last chance. Return the $75,000 within a week. We won't go to the police. We'll close this matter. Robert, I didn't take that money. How can I return money that doesn't exist? Then we'll see you in court, Nathan. FBI and the prosecutor's office will take the file. I hung up the phone. I called Chen. Chen, official investigation will start now. What should we do? Nathan, now we must start building our real defense. We'll request old records from Human Resources, system logs from IT, and complete security camera footage from security. Chen's strategy was this: find the person inside the company who set me up. This person must be someone who had access to my systems, knew my working hours, and could produce fake evidence against me. Chen requested information from Human Resources through a court order. Meridian Financial Solutions initially refused, but the federal court forced them to provide it. When the HR records arrived, Chen examined them for hours in his office. He called me. Nathan, I found very interesting things. There have been serious changes in Harrison's lifestyle over the past 2 years. He bought very expensive things relative to his salary. Like what? He bought an $85,000 BMW in 2022. This is almost half of his annual salary. In 2023, he went on high-end vacations to the Bahamas and Cayman Islands. He enrolled his son in a private school that costs $40,000 per year. These are suspicious. Exactly. More importantly, old IT records show that Harrison had special access privileges to your computer and systems. Chin dug deeper. He obtained old system logs from the IT department. He requested all camera footage from the security department for the past year. That's when the bomb exploded. In old security camera footage, Chen found this. Harrison had stayed alone in the office after midnight 23 times in the last 8 months. These times perfectly matched the hours when suspicious transfers were made. More importantly, suspicious correspondences from Harrison were found in old email archives. Messages from a bank called Caribbean Banking Solutions in the Cayman Islands, requests to open offshore accounts, money transfer instructions. Chin gave these findings to the FBI and Cook County Prosecutor's Office. FBI agent Sarah Thompson and agent Mike Rodriguez took Harrison into custody. During interrogation, Harrison initially denied everything, but the evidence was so strong that he eventually broke down. Chen called me with the good news. Nathan, Harrison confessed. Harrison's confession was as follows. He had been systematically stealing company money for the last 3 years. He had taken a total of $340,000. He was hiding this money in an offshore account in the Cayman Islands. When things started getting difficult in the last 8 months, he made a plan to find a scapegoat to divert the company's attention elsewhere. Nathan was constantly working overtime, Harrison said in the FBI interrogation. He was very hard-working and honest. He was a perfect scapegoat. Nobody would suspect him. I obtained his system passwords, made transfers using his identity information. To make it appear on security cameras that he was there, I was careful to make transfers during hours when he was in the office. Harrison also confessed to this. He had used special software to clone my electronic signatures. He had monitored my system access and analyzed my working hours. When making fake transfers, he used proxy servers to make it appear as if he was operating from my computer. The FBI recovered most of the stolen money. Harrison was found guilty in federal court and sentenced to 12 years in federal prison. Meridian Financial Solutions officially apologized to me. CEO Jonathan Walsh called me to his office. Nathan, we're very sorry for what happened to you. As a company, we made a big mistake. We offer you to return to your job. We'll also pay 6 months of your salary as compensation. But I didn't accept returning. Mr. Walsh, I can't work here anymore. There are too many bad memories. I got my job back, but the real loss was Sarah. After Harrison was arrested and it was proven that I was innocent, I approached Sarah. Sarah, did you see? I was innocent. Can we go back now? Sarah looked at me with tears in her eyes. Nathan, I'm very happy that your innocence was revealed. And I'm very sorry for not believing you. But some things between us are now broken. Sarah, we can repair these things. Nathan, I couldn't trust you in your most difficult moment. This makes me very sad. I need some time. The divorce case continued and was finalized 6 months later. We shared custody of Tyler jointly. Tyler stays with me 3 days a week and with Sarah 4 days. Today, 14 months later, I work as a financial advisor at North Shore Financial Group. My new company is small but warm. My salary is a bit less than before, but I'm happy. I rented a 1-bedroom apartment in Lincoln Park. When Tyler is with me, we eat pizza together, watch movies, and do homework. On weekends, we go to soccer games. My relationship with Sarah has improved, you could say. We're no longer enemies. We cooperate for Tyler. Sometimes I feel that Sarah has forgiven me, even misses me. Maybe in the future. Harrison is currently in federal prison. He got 12 years, but if he behaves well, he could get out in 8 years. All the money he stole was recovered and the company compensated for its losses. I'll tell Tyler this story when he grows up. Things I'll teach him: never give up in life, believe in what's right, trust in justice. Sometimes bad people can harm good people, but in the end, what's right prevails. What I experienced showed me how fragile life is. One day everything can be normal. The next day your life can be turned upside down. But the most important lesson is this: the truth always comes out. Justice finds its place, even if late. Now I'm building a new life. Not like my old life, but stronger, more conscious. Harrison tried to destroy me, but I remained standing. Because I was the one who was right.